more test stand action. Uh, you're familiar with my test stand. This is for my turbo setup. I've got the EFI pump, I mean the fuel pump, the EFI relay, the relays, sorry, the two relays, the pump and the EFI system, start switch, charging system. There's my temperature monitor. There's my oil pressure, my fuel. Got the AFM hooked up. So this guy's all good to go. But this is what I wanted to talk about. Here's the new engine test stand. Now this is another turbo engine. This is from my buddy Jeff. I had this engine hooked up on this stand and test running it. It runs great. So Jeff's got a real keeper here. Now when I was running, I didn't bother making any videos. Frankly, I just had other stuff to do. But when I test ran it, I used my entire intake manifold. This is what Jeff supplied. It's pretty rough, you know. It takes work to recommission that. I just wanted to, Jeff wanted just to find out what the condition of the engine is, because he had never had it, you know, had a chance to really check it out other than when he got it from where he got it. So the goal here was to install this on that test stand and run it. Ran great. This is, by the way, this is that P90 head that does not have the hydraulic rocker pivots, if you will. It's got a manual, you manually adjust, which is kind of cool. You know, it is what it is. What's different about this is that he had a bell, a transmission bell. You don't need that to hook up the starter, but it certainly makes it a little more stout. What I did here was I made him his own run stand. He supplied me with this base down here, which is basically just 4 2x4s bolted together with some wheels on it, and he used that for actually moving the engine around in his place. So I just said, well, he's already got that built, so why reinvent the wheel? So what I did, let me get some of this stuff out of the way so you can see what that was going on here. So what I did was got some 2x6s, connected them with some plywood, okay? So that keeps it at the right angle, and the engine basically rests on the tops of these 2x6s. Those were cut at 15-degree angles. You have to cut a 15-degree angle and a corresponding 15-degree angle so that it sits flat on the base and on the engine bottom. It just catches the bottom of the engine on that lip. I also added some bracing here. This is his dashboard. You can custom put whatever you want there. You want to put gauges or a switch or whatever in there. I put a base in it. That wasn't there. I added that ply base so he can set up his gear in there. You put your fuel tank. I would recommend to Jeff that he put his battery out here on the back. It's a lot easier to get at rather than crowding it up underneath here. Just put your fuel tank in here and maybe your ECU on the bottom. The only thing I did differently on Jeff's than I did on this one is I went ahead, for security purposes, I went ahead and added some cross members. This is a piece to tie these two legs together, although I don't see any way possible for that to shift, but what the heck. And I added this piece here, which is used some of these bolts out of the compressor mount. I put them in here to actually literally tie the engine to the test stand. On mine, it just rests, just the weight of the engine, and frankly, that's plenty. It's never been an issue, but I'll explain to you why I did that in a minute. But so I have this tied into the engine on this side, and same with that one. So the front of the engine's tied down. Now, since he had the bell, I just went ahead and wrapped a tie down to the bell to hold. It got this really snug here. Okay, that's really snugged up tight. So that can't lift. So the engine cannot lift off the base now. And the main reason I did that is because Jeff's going to transport this thing. And my original idea was, okay, Jeff, we'll take the engine off, put it in a tire, take the stand with you, take the engine with you in your truck, and then reassemble it with the cherry picker when you get it home, which is a lot of work. You know, frankly, it's set up right now. Why undo this just to redo it again? So I'm pretty confident that with this setup, as long as he securely securely puts this in the bed of his pickup truck, that is, you know, put some we'll put some ties between the engines so it can't shift around, can't shift the weight. Maybe put it right up against something and make sure it can't move. He doesn't have any wheel locks, but I wouldn't trust him anyway. But I'm pretty sure that as long as you secure this base in the engine, in the bed of a pickup truck, and secure this so that it can't topple over, I can't imagine this thing being a problem. That way he could just literally roll it up on ramps onto the pickup truck and then roll it back down without having to do all the, without doing all the cherry picker. We could, or, you know, now you could never cherry pick the thing high enough to put in a truck. Yeah, you'd have to put it up on ramps. So I'll let Jeff decide what he wants to do there. If he wants to go through the effort of pulling the engine off, putting the tire, and then taking the two pieces home and putting it back together, that's fine. Again, though, I think, you know, it's pretty high. It's pretty got high CG. If it's a tipping hazard. Again, I think if you did a proper engineering and really got it secure, like maybe you're using this 2x4, you know, maybe we can take that 2x4 and somehow use that across the bed of the pickup and tie that into this base somehow, you know, like tie it to this, to the bell, some way to keep it from moving around. I think you'd be all right. Anyway, that's the test stand. Jeff, Jeff and I are working on an EFI system that'll work with this. What I'll probably do is I'll just get the EFI system and do some research on it, see what I can figure out. It's not from a 280ZX. It's from a 300ZX, I think Jeff said. And we both read there's in places that you can actually you know, use that system with some modifications to run one of these engines. And it just uses a different airflow. It uses mass airflow as opposed to an airflow meter. It's, you know, one of the hot wire things for the airflow. So that'd be convenient. I mean, you got that, not have the big honking airflow meter out front, which would be kind of cool. And it might have some other, you know, enhancements. It is newer technology after all. He's missing his turbo downpipe here, although that's something I think he may already have an aftermarket solution to that. He's missing his charge tube. He needs a charge tube to go back to the compressor wheel on the turbo, and he's missing his inlet pipe, which comes out here. At least if you're using the airflow meter, I mean, that can probably be worked around with just some regular silicone couplings, and I think there's a couple bleed air type thing, couple tubes that have to go in there. But that wouldn't be too hard to figure out. He's got the distributor. I've got the distributor. I'll put that back on before I forget. And I tested that distributor. I took his test distributor, put it on that engine, and it worked fine. Like I said, there's a lot of little things missing. He's missing his this here. I don't think he has the EGR hooked up. No, that's been cut. So he's missing some piping to actually get it running, and that's why I used my intake manifold. I didn't want to try to figure all that out. On this side, let's see, where are we? He's going to need a new temperature sending unit here. I used mine on this when we were tested. His was broken. Let's see, what else? Yeah, this is your heater. That's no big deal there. He has a. I put his thermostat housing back on. I used mine because it had all the stuff already all hooked up. But yeah, it's pretty good to go. Ready to roll. You know. Anyway, come and get it, Jeff, whenever you can. I'll stash it for now and put it off to the side. And it's all yours, buddy. I hope you enjoy it. Happy New Year. Actually, I think this is probably my best stand I've built yet. You get better at them with each iteration as you go. What I haven't done here is I haven't bothered to put a radiator hold on it yet. So when he gets a little bit further, you know, I've already stolen one of his radiators from him, so he'll have to steal it back from me, and we can build a radiator onto it easy. That's not a hard thing to do. And honestly, you could almost get away, in my opinion. You could probably just run hoses if you had some just generic hose here and a generic hose here, and literally just put it in a big old 5-gallon bucket. And don't even bother with a radiator, because, I mean, put a 5-gallon bucket in there, it's going to take a while for the water to get hot, and you're never running this thing for very long anyway. So, and that way you wouldn't have that big honking radiator hanging out front, taking up a bunch of space. You know, whenever you're ready to run it, just put your bucket in, run your hoses to it, and you're good to go. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the latest. Oh, for those guys who always say, Dave, do you have any plans? No, I'm not going to do plans, guys. That's not practical. Look, it's pretty easy. make yourself a base about 2 feet wide this way, and 2 to 3 feet wide here, whatever you want. It's not that critical. You get some 2x6s. You do a 15-degree angle. If you want that, okay, make a 15-degree angle cuts on them so that they sit right. Get a couple pieces of plywood. Secure one end of it down here at the bottom. Hold your engine up on a cherry picker. Bring the two things together. Get everything lined up. Drill holes to secure it, and come back with a sawzall and cut off the excess. That's what I did here. I didn't even bother trying to measure it. I just lined it up and then cut off the excess. It's a lot easier. And just try to make sure the angles are about the same. It's not rocket science. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoy it. I love working on these turbo engines, man. This is fun. Look at that. Look at that bad boy right there. Oh, you want to hear it run? Okay. Let's hear it run. Bonus time. Let's hear the engine run, right? See that clacky clack? Listen, it'll stop. You see those big flippers pump up. Sometimes it does that, sometimes it doesn't. And it's gone. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Look how smooth that item is. I'm up to about 110 degrees. I had it running a little while ago. There you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.